As a Baal Tshuva, I don't care about the frum world politics. And especially if a little neshoma has to pay for it. This business of the cover-up, because a molester is some type of hush of a son-in-law of somebody. Molesters have one place. If they're caught before they do damage, the first their place is therapy. If they've done damage, their place is in jail, behind bars. No sentiments. And all the sentiments, what's happened is when the molesters are allowed to continue to teach in a cheder, then there's more victims. Okay. The people that allow a molester to stay on the street are going to have to pay the price for every one of the victims, not only him, because it's an accomplice to a crime. And this is even Das Torah. Before I left Eretz Yisrael, I live in Ashdod, and I had the privilege of doing shimush by the Melitzer Rebbe many years. And the Melitzer Rebbe says that when it comes to a child molester, there's no inyan of moiser. Okay.
You got to speak up.
You got to speak up. You got to send him into the cops. All right? He's got to sit in jail. And if the community, I know there's certain communities in Eretz Yisrael that's not like in America. I know of one particular instant of a Rebbe in a cheder that had a problem and laid his paws on a Talmud, and he got a visit from some NFL-sized Hasidim. If they were in America, they could easily play in the NFL. And they told him two things. Tonight, you're no longer in Yerushalayim. You go move somewhere else. And tomorrow, you are no longer a Rebbe. Okay. You're no longer here, and you're no longer teaching children. You go sell insurance, go learn car mechanics, do whatever, but no longer telling children. Yeah. And they made it in such a way emphatic that if the guy doesn't understand by way of brain, that he'll understand by way of his bones. Okay. There is no messing around here. This is pikuach nefesh. Okay. And you've seen the damage. A molested child can come up, and like I say, he could take, with his anger, first of all, destroying his own neshoma. But a destroyed neshoma, he doesn't go down alone. He wants to bring other neshomas with him. He'll do his very best to schlep as many people off the derech as he can. All right, and this is something. First of all, it's an abomination. It can't be tolerated. Who's got the right? And you send your child to cheder, and you got to worry about it. What it's like sending your child to Gaza. It's safer to send your child to Gaza. You send your child to Gaza City. Who would think of such a thing? You have to know that there's certain things that parents, we have to educate parents also. That in the lower grades, a kid is supposed to come home from school. They're supposed to be at 4 o'clock. He's got to be home at 4 o'clock. There's no such thing as a rebbe telling a child to stay after school. Unless the principal knows about it, the parents knows about it, the reason.
Everybody's got to know about it.
Everybody's got to know about it. Everybody's got to know about it. There is no such thing. I mean, in the old days, who's got the right? It's your child. To raise a hand on a child, no way in the world. No way in the world. And it's important. I know it's difficult. I know a lot of people, a good Rebbe, the Rebbe gets too good, and they say, we can't pay you anymore, go. But to have to put, as hard as it is, have to pick up good people. Not just because a guy's been in koil, now he's got 3 kids, and he's a parnasa. Have to have qualifications.
So what would be your message, and as a final up, as we finalize up here, what would you say would be the solution to the victims of these situations, and how should they move forward in their life? Okay, the only way, the solution for any victim, the solution for anybody that's been through a trauma, and it's a rough one to learn. It's a rough one to learn. It's not easy, but it's a chance to grow. A victim will say, why did this happen to me? And someone said something to me very moving this week. I met with a victim this week. And this victim, he had some tough arguments. He says, the Torah says, Ve'alachta b'drachav. You should go in the ways of Hashem. He says, for me, Hashem is abusing. Because of people. You tell me, Rabbi Lazer, you tell me in your book that everything comes from Hashem. So that means when some molesting parent puts out a cigarette butt on a child, and that's come from Hashem, this is Hashem's abuse. I said, no, it's not so simple. You have to learn emunah. You have to learn emunah. You have to realize that whatever happened to you, we don't have the answers to every single thing. There's a lot of pieces in the puzzle. And some things are leftover baggage from earlier generations. We can't explain the Holocaust while standing on one foot. We know that everything's for the best. And when Mashiach comes, we'll see how it was for the best. We'll see that the neshomas that were Kiddush Hashem, that they had a tikkun.
For now.
Okay, but for this particular victim, the only way to move forward is to strengthen emunah. That's the only way to move forward, to strengthen emunah, to realize what the Rebbeinu Shalom does with the limit of what we can realize, that everything is truly for the best. Everything is truly for the best. That it could be, maybe it's not a neshoma, it's not a consolation for a lot of people, but sometimes a certain trauma could be in place of a terminal disease, or maybe in a former Gilgul, this person was the molester, and his tikkun is to go through a trauma like this and now accept it in emunah. This is the final generation. Talk to any of the Gedolim. It's the final generation before Mashiach. And we have tough nisyonis and emunah.
And the solution is just to keep striking that emunah.
The solution is only emunah. The only solution to handling trauma, post-trauma, is by way of emunah. And it's difficult to explain why. We have to devote another 2 hours to this to explain exactly how it is. But we all know that the body has its needs, food, water, etc. The neshoma, without emunah, suffers malnutrition. Okay.
And if you don't have that, you're not going to...
Right. If you don't have emunah, the neshama will never be happy. The neshama will look here and look there and look there. And that poor, poor, poor individual, my heart pours out for every one of these people. That poor child has gone through. He's going to look, for consolation and look for cheap thrills. And if he doesn't find the right thing, he himself is going to have a terrible marriage, and he himself is going to have problems as a parent, because the fact that he can't relate properly with the generation above him that gave him so much pain, it'll be difficult for him to relate with his kids. Only emunah. Okay? And that's it. Only emunah. There's nowhere else to go.
Rabbi Brody, thank you so much for your time.
Yosla, my pleasure.
If you want to check out further, Rabbi Brody's website, Laser Beams, or
Right.
Laser Beams.
That's at www.lazerbrody.net.
LazerBrody.net, okay.
And our Breslov Israel website is www.breslev.co.il.
And we have all your books available in the local Judaica stores.
Yeah.
Rabbi Brody, thank you so much.